Like I'm in the big leagues. Yeah, told him I'ma hit it out the stands. I deserve another 100 bands. I deserve another 100 fans. Told them this was always in the plans. I just did it cause they said I can. Blowing euros when I'm down in France. Labels asking how I build a brand. Told them put a check up in my hands. Boy got time, no cap. Made a few checks, but they all in the rest. Had a few friends, but they stuck in the past. I don't even trip when I'm thinking about that. Hopped in the whip and we all in black. Shawty wanna ride till I hop in the back. 0 to 100, seen a rev on the dash. They ain't catching up, dog, I'm moving too fast. I'm in the big leagues. Told them don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. I need a bag, bruh, send it through quickly. I'm making his dog, like I'm in a big league.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We are live with some breaking news just under the 7 o'clock hour on February the 6th, 2022. Man, I hope that this day and this time goes down as a historical moment for the Miami Dolphins. We have selected our new head coach, Mike McDaniel, ladies and gentlemen. The Miami Dolphins have decided to select their new head coach, Mike McDaniel. It is official from what I'm seeing. It's been all kind of controversy today. At one point, they said Kellen Moore was getting his offensive staff together, but the Miami Dolphins decided to select Mike McDaniel as the new head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Now, the San Francisco 49ers are going to benefit 2 compensatory picks for this due to the fact that Mike McDaniel is mixed. He is of minority descent. So they benefit and receive 2 compensatory picks. I forgot which rounds, but they get 2 picks. And I'm like, what do we get? And I don't think we get anything. But Mike McDaniel. And I want to talk about this hiring. I know it wasn't likely not many people wanted Mike McDaniel to be the head coach, but when you really looked at your list, Harbaugh wasn't going to be the guy. Caldwell wasn't going to be the guy. Doug Peterson wasn't going to be the guy. It doesn't even look like the Miami Dolphins organization pursued those gentlemen. So when you look at the rest of the field, I personally feel like there were some better candidates, but at the end of the day, Mike McDaniel was the guy that ended up blowing the Miami Dolphins away, I guess, because I think that he ended up being one of the last options. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, we're not going anywhere with this guy, blah, blah, blah. I got to be honest with y'all. No matter what you feel, we have to get behind our new head coach and support him. We have to make sure we evaluate him fairly. I know a lot of people were bummed about the Brian Flores situation, but this isn't a moment to hate on another man because of your love of one man. You know how the Tuaniers are, how they hate on everybody just to build Tua up. This isn't one of those moments, man. This is the new coach of the Miami Dolphins. We got to get behind him. We have to support him, and we have to evaluate his tenure here in Miami fairly and be supportive. And this is our new coach, and let's go. Let's go, Mike McDaniels. You know, and because I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't high on Mike McDaniels because it went down that path of hope again. Hopeful. Like, we never can get a guarantee. But if I was to go with any hopeful, it would have been Mike McDaniels because he's known to be innovative. He's known to be a guy who can be creative. And I want to see what that looks like in Miami. One of the biggest concerns for me is Mike McDaniels has no experience nor resume of helping quarterbacks. And we know that if we stick with Tua Tagovailoa, it is going to be very important for him to bring the right staff in that can help him. And I pretty much feel like Mike McDaniel's history in Miami is going to depend on what he ends up doing in the next year or two at the quarterback position. Can he bring a staff in that'll make a difference? Now, when you talk about Brian Flores, one of the biggest knocks is he couldn't get a staff that can make differences, that could help the O-line or that could help Tua Tagovailoa. Now Mike McDaniels is on the clock in those main areas. Because if we're getting a guy who can't at least make those two areas better, then unfortunately it would be a major fail. He's not a defensive guy. And the truth of the matter is he is being tasked with creating a good O-line that can run the ball well and nurture support around Tua and help him grow. That is all Mike McDaniels is going to be measured on, ladies and gentlemen. If the defense falls, will he have the staff member, which from my understanding, they're trying to keep the same staff, but will we be able to maintain with the defense that we have, or will it take us step backwards? And even if it does take a step backwards, it's not a fail if the offense can take a huge step forward. So that's what it comes down to. So over the next couple of weeks, the important thing of it all, we got to pay attention to the coaches he bring in. We got to pay attention to what coaches he brings in. Because everybody talks about Flores couldn't bring in a staff. The only way that you show anything is bringing in a great staff. So I want somebody out to ask yourself, what great O-line coaches are out there right now? What great running back coaches are out there right now? What great quarterback coaches out there right now that we should be targeted? Because that list is slim to none. And we got to see if he could even get the slims. We have to see if he could even get the guys that are left. Because that's what he's going to be judged off of. If the O-line still struggles, we can't keep talking about personnel. If the quarterback continues to struggle, we can't keep talking about the coaches. We got to get better in those areas. And they're hoping that Mike McDaniels is the guy to do that. We're all hopeful because, I'm sorry, in my opinion, the resume doesn't add up for me to feel like it's going to happen. When we hired Brian Flores, I knew our defense would get better. Did it? Oh boy, yes it did. Now we're hiring Mike McDaniels. I'm not sure if our offense will get that much better, but and it's not because of him per se, but I don't even know if we'll have the offense of personnel to run pretty much the only thing he knows. I mean, anyone would assume we're probably going to be switching to a West Coast power O, running that ball. I don't see 5 offensive linemen. I don't see 4 offensive linemen. I don't see 3 offensive linemen. Some could argue I don't see 2 offensive linemen that are suited for it. As of right now, the only offensive lineman I look at suited for that type of offense is Solomon Kinley. No, excuse me, Robert Hunt. But Solomon Kinley may be good in that type of format. So we might be looking at a different change in Hall on the O-line. or if they just try to do it with this current roster, we may struggle. We may struggle. Is our running backs the equivalence of a Deebo Samuels, who they use 80% of the time in San Francisco? No. Waddle's not even Deebo. Duke Johnson's not Deebo. Looks like we're going to be getting us another back, hoping that they're dynamic. I have to talk about some of my fears, though. My number one fear is Jimmy G to Miami. My number one fear is Jimmy G to Miami. I personally rather bet on Tua's upside than Jimmy G's what he is. It's an upgrade right now, slightly. Jimmy G is a slight upgrade over Tua. But at least Tua still has like a third year, maybe upside. Because Jimmy G is gone. He's gone out of San Francisco. Already said his farewells. Organization already knows he's gone. They already know he's gone. Where's he headed? Where is he headed? Because, and this is a serious conversation, y'all. This ain't no troll. This ain't me just throwing some crap out there. Because the unfortunate part is I can actually realistically see him coming. Whether it's with Tua or without Tua. Number one, competition with Tua. Number two, he's the starter without Tua. Number three, he already knows the system that Mike McDaniel probably wants to employ, and Tua doesn't. Nor has Tua shown the mental capacity to pick up a system fast. Another issue. Some of y'all may not notice on the bigger scale of football, but the West Coast offense and the schematic sets that Mike McDaniel likes to run are 10 times more. What word do I want to use that'll be a little lighter? Are 10 times more just simply complex than what we run with Tua. It's more complex than a pro-style offense. It is a complex offense with route combinations, and it is more complex. And this is why I said my biggest fear for Tua is, this is why I said Tua may have been in trouble from day one. Not from day one, but no matter who the coach would have been. Because either the coach would have switched to a West Coast and Tua might struggle just trying to learn it. He might have an upside that he's going to get really good at it, but this is probably his last year, and I think we all know that. If he makes it through the summer, because it ain't over. We don't know what McDaniels in the organization has talked about or decided. We don't know who they're going to pursue. All I know is if they can't get better at the position, Tua is the guy. But we still don't know their attempt to get better at the position. But my concern at getting better at the position is Jimmy G. Now, it'll be a head start at least, because you got a quarterback that knows everything that he needs to know in that system. But, man, I just don't feel like I want to set myself up to be good enough not to be good enough. To be good enough to fail in the last minute. I just can't. But again, is Mike McDaniel going to be able to bring the staff in that we're going to need to be successful? Which is going to have to include a real guru quarterback coach, which I just don't see happening, but he may. Or offensive line coach. I know he does well with receivers and running backs. So I'll leave that to him. Zachary with the donation said they want a third or fourth plus player for him. You think Greer will do that? No. First of all, let me tell you another thing to consider. You know how backdoor dealings always happen, and a lot of stuff is coming out where people want to be careful with backdoor dealings, but they just got 2 compensatory picks. Let me tell y'all something. By hiring Mike McDaniels, that is already compensation in the bank for the 49ers. If anybody was to get Jimmy G, it would be cheapest for us. They just got 2 compensatory picks by us hiring Mike McDaniels. I'm just throwing that out there. Just throwing it out there. Okay. This is going to be an exciting offseason regardless, ladies and gentlemen, because we still should be able to get a bunch of shiny new toys. At the end of the day, we still have to see what they're going to do at the quarterback position, because you know what? No matter what you've learned in the last month, one thing is for sure. Whether you agree with how they did it or not, they have definitely been trying to get one of those guys at the quarterback position. The one thing nobody can dispute over the last month is they have done everything they can, whether it was right or wrong, to get one of those guys at the position. Way more than we all thought. Way more than we all imagined. They have been trying to get one of those guys at the position. And I don't think that has changed. Because why would it? All this narrative that Flores was the one trying to get one of those guys in the last month, that should be blown out of the water now. That it definitely wasn't just the Flores trying to get one of those guys. It's that simple. So now we got to sit back and see what this means for Tua. Hopefully he's working right now saying, hey, I'm ready no matter what. We got to see what this means for the offensive coaching staff. And free agency, ladies and gentlemen, is coming in 5.5 weeks. 5.5 weeks. McCaffrey to Miami is making a lot of sense now. Could be, but that's going to be a massive salary. But then on top of it, you got to get the right line for it, because we don't have the line for that yet. We don't. Jose said, man, I hate not knowing what to expect. Let's just pray the man can give us get us at top 15 offense. Well, if he can get us at top 15 offense, the defense can't fall below 15. If you're going to have a, let's say, 15th ranked offense, then you probably need a 7th ranked defense to balance it out. Maybe 6th. Let me tell you, there's a system I have for that, by the way. There's a system I have for that. It ain't sound. It could be different. But in order to win a Super Bowl, I think you need an overall score at a minimum of about 17. What does that mean? Between your offense and defensive ranking, you need a 17. If your defense is 16th, you need a number 1 offense. Putting it together, I think somewhere around 17, 18-ish, man. It's around that range. I think that's what you need as an overall to be a real threat. Now, you may have some outliers. I mean, you might have a 20th ranked something and a number 1 ranked another. There's the outliers. You know, it happens. But to have a real good shot at it, you want to at least put it together and have around 17, 18. That's where I put it. But now the next step is over the next few weeks, the offensive staff that he'll be bringing in. We'll look at those guys. We'll look at their resumes. We'll look at their expertise. Do we even know who they are? Because I'm going to be shocked if he could bring in some great people that we all know about. Because as a first-time head coach, what people need to understand, which was really unfair to Brian Flores, which was a false narrative anyway, that he couldn't bring in a coaching staff and that's why he got fired. That ain't the case. Because what you have to realize is it's hard to bring in a coaching staff unless you bring in somebody from where you already were. So I'm just curious, anybody in the comment section know of a quarterback coach you'll like to see us bring in that you think Mike McDaniel can bring in? You know, and remember that. Not who you like. Any coach, any quarterback coach you know he can get. Michael said Dolphins should trade up for a penning in the draft. I wouldn't be surprised if they did take another quarterback and have it as an asset and they compete with Tua. And you could trade whoever lose that battle for an asset. Pep Hamilton, you think he can get him? Do you think he can get Hamilton? I ain't asked you who you want. I ain't asked you who you want. I said who you can get. You ain't getting Pep. Well, let me not say that because he might shock us. Then I'll be like, man, then Mike McDaniel's okay. That's what I'm talking about. You think you can bring him in for the line? No, I don't think so. I don't think you can. I believe McDaniels, but I'm asking y'all about the quarterback. I believe McDaniels' creativity can help the offense move the chains better. I expect him to use Waddle like Niners use Debo. What do you think? He can't use Waddle like Debo because Waddle ain't Debo. I don't know why everybody been saying that. Ooh, he might be able to turn Waddle into Debo. What, Waddle gonna put on another 40 pounds and be this brute power guy? Why do people think that? For the life of me, why do people keep thinking that Waddle can be Debo? Not even possible. It's not even possible. Stop. Stop saying that. And this is what sold some of y'all. But the sad part about it is, and I'm actually going to get behind Mike McDaniels no matter what. But the sad part about it is, that was the intriguing part for some of y'all. The only intriguing part. Yeah, he could turn Waddle into Debo. First of all, even if he could turn Waddle into Debo and Waddle had that body, you wouldn't want him to because your offense would be dependent on one man. And what happens when Debo goes down? Just like he went down in the AFC Championship game for a large part, the NFC Championship game for good, solid spurts of that game. And those were the drives they kept punting. We ain't got no Debo on this roster. Stop it. Debo is a different talent. He's a different breed. You don't get those often. Here's to 3 years of TD pronouncing McDaniels wrong. Pronouncing him wrong? Why would you jump there? Don't put that on me. Put that on yourself. I'm going to support McDaniels. He our new head coach. Debo do be thick, though. Yeah, absolutely. Y'all don't understand. He's our coach, and I'm going to support him, period. Not saying I want him. I think Juju would fit in. TD, when's the mock draft coming out? Hey, we're going to be getting into that soon. We still building around Tua. We're going to start that stream probably tomorrow. Or maybe tonight. Maybe tonight. Maybe we can talk about our draft picks and our money tonight. And then talk about a strategy on priority. That's the next part. Part 3 of the Building Around Tua series will be draft picks, money, the capital we have, and the priorities. What is going to be our strategy? Then we're going to go from there. All right. So we might do it tonight. If we had a time. Y'all hit that like button. Let me know y'all want to do it tonight by hitting that like button. Debo is a crybaby, LOL, and Dan Marino needs to coach Tua full time. Stop saying that Dan Marino need to coach stuff. Dan Marino ain't no coach. He has already proven not to be because everybody that he try to coach, Tannehill, Tua, it don't matter. And you know why? Because he got this philosophy that ruins them. Pick a guy and let it fly. Don't you see that all into a game? Hike, pick a guy, let it fly. No, Dan Marino, go sit down somewhere. Be our GOAT and just sit in the ring of honor and sit in the booth and just show your presence. Yeah, look at Dan, y'all. Dan don't need to be nowhere teaching nobody nothing. That's another thing. Just because you was a great quarterback don't mean you'll be a great coach at one. Let's get that straight. Because some of the worst quarterbacks end up being the great coaches, by the way. The Fins Tailgate with the donation said Ross got rid of Flo because he couldn't control him. McDaniels is hired because I believe they think he can be controlled. Hopefully he has a plan to deal with Ross because he may see him as a threat to one day. Listen, I don't mind that situation. Let me tell you why. If Ross tries to control him and say, I want you to do this, and say it's something that you shouldn't do, if McDaniels is fine doing it, okay, I don't care. Long as his choice was to do it. So some of y'all may misunderstood me in that Flores situation. If Ross asked McDaniels to do something and McDaniels decided to do it, let's go. He decided to. At least he made his decision. But if Ross asked McDaniels to do something and McDaniels refused, all right, I'm behind McDaniels. It was your choice. Nobody can force you to do something illegal or that you feel is unethical. So understand, no matter what decision Flores made, if he would have participated or not participated, at least it would have been his decision. Same thing with Mike McDaniels. If they feel they got a guy they can control and he'll go right along with it, okay, they got the camaraderie they needed, whatever. I don't care. That's their business. You get caught, we'll be talking about it dogging you. You don't get caught, good for you. Whatever. Wonder if our amazing blocking tight end will stay now. I mean, do you see a place in this system for Gesicki? I'm not sure about that. One of our members, Vic in the house, he said, heads up, free agency, here we come. Yes, but we got to start doing this series streams because a lot of that stuff is revelatory, man. It's going to be harder than we think. TD, you keep adding an S to McDaniel. Thank you, man. You're right. I keep doing that, and it's a habit. It's a habit that I need to break, and I'm about to break it. Let me go back and take the S off, which I just did. Thank you for that. And I'm going to keep doing it until I don't do it anymore. And that should be soon because he's officially our head coach now, and I'll be writing his name and talking about him a lot. So it'll be corrected. But I appreciate anytime you see me make that mistake, please let me know because it's the only way I'll get better to where I don't make it again. So it's appreciated when you do. Thanks. Mike McDaniel. All right. We got to get used to it. We will. All right. Y'all hit that like button again. It's crazy. We got 768 people here and we only have 243 likes. Let's hit that like button and shout out to we already read those. So we're good. So let me keep it going. All right, man. So some more things I wanted to talk about with this. Again, we need to keep in mind, as we got another donation from David, said draft Treylon Burks equals Debo, then Waddle over the top. Yeah, we always talk about that. But we'll see how it goes. Y'all punch that like button. Thank y'all for hitting it. Michael Regalado said they are saying Fangio is a name to watch for DC. Okay. Long as they don't come in and try to play like a base defense where we're not aggressive and we're more bend but don't break. Long as we don't get into that type of format, because that could be detrimental. All right. Shout out to everybody here from YouTube. Shout out to the 12 people on Twitch. Shout out to the 30 people on TD Sports Talk. And shout out to our almost over 30 people on Facebook. We're over 800 people. Y'all hit that like button, 812. Punch that like button, man. We need to get the likes up so we can let people know that we are live right now, okay? Hit that like button so people will know that we are live right now. We got our new head coach. Listen, man, I'm expecting big things, and let me tell you why. This isn't a tear down situation. Mike McDaniels is going to have to come into this situation and hit the ground running. There ain't no situation where we win less than 9 games. So make sure we get that straight now, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot have a situation where we win less than 9 games or it's already a failure. This ain't no rebuild from scratch. This ain't none of that. You got a defense that's ready to roll for at least the next 2 years, and you can get better in the linebacking core, which I know they'll address. You got a lot of young core pieces on offense. You got a lot of work to do there, but that's the only side of the ball that we're looking for a major overhaul, and we have the money to hit it hard this offseason. Nothing less than 9 wins should be acceptable. Nothing less than 9 wins should be acceptable at this point, and I'm sorry, that's just what it is. We cannot go backwards. Cannot go backwards. All right? 11 wins with Tua. That's about the bottom for me, honestly. I said no less than 9, which means you got to get 10. But my real bottom is 11. But I don't want to be too overzealous for a new head coach. 10 is where it's at, even if we miss the playoffs. But if we miss the playoffs again, then we got 1 year left, and it's not realistic, y'all. Taiwan said, TD, I really hope our defense don't play like they first 8 games. Well, that's a huge concern. That's a huge concern because we're keeping a lot of the same defensive staff, and that was the same staff that was calling those first 8 games. Something to think about. All right. Much love from San Diego, bro. Who are your top 2 free agent targets for us? I will have that midweek. That is all my homework I'm doing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, giving you every position, the top target. I'm actually tearing it up for you. I'm doing all the tiers, every position of need and everything. We're going to be writing down the tiers and all. We're going to be talking about, because we're going to try to make the puzzle fit with the money we have. We're going to try to make the puzzle fit with the money we have. It's going to be pretty cool what we do over here starting by the end of the week. We're going to have an Excel sheet where we could plug people in. The money's going to change, and we'll see what type of team we got. I hear McDaniels is very creative with the run game. What running back would you like to see us get? Also, keep Gesicki or ride with Hunter Long. I think we're going to have a shift in the tight ends. We're going to go with the future, but we'll see what Chris Greer want to do with that money, whether he want to roll with Gesicki or not, but I think we're going to move on. Running back wise, they're going to need a power back. They're going to need a guy who can carry the load. Y'all have to understand, Duke Johnson did enough to probably warrant being on this roster next year, but you can't consider a guy who showed you some great flashes in 2 games as the official guy. And he's getting older too. The man done been in the league for a while. So we'll see. Time will tell. But I like the future of Hunter Long. We'll see how they cultivate that situation in the future going forward. It'll be very interesting which path we take as a team. It's going to be very interesting to see which path that we take as a team, because we got a lot of holes, ladies and gentlemen. And at the end of the day, no matter how you want to slice it, we got to be able to keep up with Buffalo. We have to be able to keep up with Buffalo. Buffalo is going to be pretty much the same team just about. So we got to figure out a way to keep up with that juggernaut over there, because they're over there getting it done, man, and that's just the reality, okay? Let me see here. Let me pull this up for y'all. My homie said, I actually love Phillip Lindsay and Duke Johnson as our backs. Lindsay, a sleeper, always a threat to break off some big plays. But remember, those guys need the lines. Those guys need the offensive line in front of them that can specialize in giving them those opportunities. You can't just expect those guys to be bulldozers and running through it all and making it happen. Not that they can't, but y'all get my point. Y'all know what I'm saying. All right. So let me pull this up real quick. Let's go. I want y'all to see what we've already went through. We've already started this, so I want you to see where we are. Okay? This is where we are right now, man. At the top of the screen, on offense, we have an opportunity to save about $15.4 million. That's if we cut Allen Hurns, save 2.6. Cut Core, save $1 million. Cut Dedman, save 700,000. Shaheen will save us 1.8. Ethan Carter will save us 2.5. Jesse Davis, 3.6, which we must do. Greg Little, 1.5. Smith, 700K, and Pankey, 1 million. And on the defensive side of the ball, we ain't got no potential of savings unless we trade X, unless they want to cut Eric Rowe and save $4.5 million if we cut him. But if you look at the overall, the price is fair. The price he getting is fair to want to keep him. But it just depends on how they feel about Brandon Jones. How do they feel about Brandon Jones? And from a draft pick standpoint, first round pick is 29. Second round pick is 50. Third round is 100. Fourth round, 117, 121. Fifth round, 156. Sixth round, 200. And seventh round, 221. And I got to check into this third pick. It was a compensatory pick, but it was a depend on. So I got to see if we actually got it from the team that was supposed to give it to us, because it was a conditional pick. If something happened, we get it. If it didn't happen, we don't get it. I put it on there because it's set for us to get if something happened, but the conditions were not disclosed. So I'll keep my eyes on that situation. So we have an opportunity to have a total amount of money of $85.4 million. That's increasing that $70 million, going up to $85.4. Now we got a total of 29 holes on this team. 9 of them are starters and 12 of them are depth pieces. 10 holes on the offense. 6 of those offensive players are starters. More than half of our offense, we got a hole at the starting position. And 4 for depth. We got 1 hole on special teams, which is, believe it or not, our punter. We ain't got a punter under contract. We got 10 holes on defense. 2 of those are starters, and 8 are depth. So only 2 starters positions on defense we need to really replace. This is where we are, ladies and gentlemen. We also have the big mystery of who are we going to have as our backup quarterback? What kind of running back are we going to get? A priority workhorse, or are we talking a guy is equivalent of Phillip and Duke, and they battle it out? We also want another top-notch wide receiver to pair up with Parker and have Waddle running free, with Lynn Bowden taking on that a huge role as well. Then you got your depth. We need another depth piece with potentially Matt Collins, but we don't know because he ain't even under contract. Mike Gesicki ain't under contract. What we going to do about tight end? Are we moving on, keeping him? We shall see. We still need another depth piece, or will they bring back Shaheen and keep that 1.8? We shall see. We all feel like we need a left tackle, but that could be expensive. Or are we going to go get a middle-of-the-road guy? Who's going to be that power run guy? We all know that we need a center. Or are they good with Jesse Davis? I mean, not Jesse Davis, but Michael Dieter. Time will tell. Left guard, we don't know who's going to be there, but we got a lot of guys who can fill that role in competition. We know Robert Hunt has done so well, he'll be at right guard, but ladies and gentlemen, this is the even more messed up part about it. Robert Hunt played good at right guard, but we don't know what McDaniels wants to do. When you run those double tight end sets, you might want Robert Hunt to go out at the right tackle like he used to. It's potential. This could happen. What will we do? On defense, will we keep Ogbar or are we moving forward? Huge mystery. Because we need another edge rusher over there. Jalen Phillips plays that flex role. Or will they change up the defense? We don't know. Michael said if we can come out the draft with Penning and Zion Johnson, it'll be a home run. We'll see. We got too many holes to say home run. A home run this year is getting us deep in the playoffs. AFC Championship. because your defense might just take a hit over the next 3 years. We'll see. What we going to do at the nose tackle position? We got Raekwon Davis, but we need some depth. Will they bring back Jenkins? Getting older? I don't know. Still playing well. Left out inside linebacker. Landon Roberts ain't even under contract. We need a starter. Even the depth. We don't have a left inside linebacker, by the way, y'all. We don't have one. Both guys are not even under contract. We do not have a true linebacker under contract on the left side. We don't. Not even a single guy under contract. Both of these guys aren't under contract right now. Only guy we pretty much got under contract is Jerome Baker and Jalen Phillips, because he plays the Sam linebacker with that flex as the pass rusher. But then you got the right inside linebacker. Duke and Sam ain't under contract. Once again, we don't have a single guy on the right or left side at the linebacker position that's under contract. We either going to bring these guys back, which the unfortunate part is all of them worth more money than they got before. I don't care if it's $500,000 or $1 million. They all worth a little more. What will we do? We need a backup for Jalen Phillips. Scarlett ain't even under contract, which reminds me, let me make sure I put the, oh crap, let me hit back. Make sure I put the parentheses so I don't, so we know what it is. All right. And lastly, going down this secondary, what we going to do about X? He wants more money. In his annual, he probably want about 5 more. Are we going to pick up a $20 million tag and extend that coming into his later years? Are we going to give him $20 million per and extend him? Or are we going to trade him? We got to figure that out. But it is a potential savings, or we got to give him more money. We'll see what happens. Nick Needham ain't even under contract. We don't even have a slot corner under contract, y'all. Nick Needham nor Coleman is under contract. Neither of those guys are under contract this year. You see these holes? No monogamy, but we see how that's gone. Brandon Jones, will he take over for Byron Jones, excuse me. He's under contract. Are they looking to try to save money and move on from him? We be wasting a lot of money because we still got to pay him. And then what you going to, with all these holes we already have, what you going to do? Not sure. Eric Rowe, that's a potential savings, but it's worth it to keep him, honestly, when you look at the money. Brandon Jones, will he take that starting spot, or will him and Eric Rowe continue to split reps? And Clayton Fedgerland, you having a strong safety, a third string. I don't know if that's the move this year. Javon Holland, we already know what time it is, but he ain't even got to back up because McCourty ain't under contract anymore. But that's where we are, y'all. If you really look at it, we got a lot of work to do this offseason. Ravens should give us the 14th for X straight up. Yeah, but X's age, I don't think he's worth the first anymore, y'all. You might be happy to get a third, a second. I don't think his value is what it is with his age. And you got to give him more money. If you can get a first, I'm like jumping for joy. If you can get a first for X, I'll start jumping around like Jiminy Cricket. I'll start jumping around, man. That would be a beautiful, beautiful situation. He made the Pro Bowl. Yeah, but at the end of the day, that clock's still expiring, man. I got to think about it. I mean, maybe a team will go for broke, give us another first. And I don't know about that, though. I think if they do move on from X and they get draft capital, they're not going to keep. Listen, here's another thing y'all got to understand. The Miami Dolphins cannot afford to keep getting players in the first round. There is a such thing as drafting too many first round players because you have too many people coming up for contract at the same time. And you have to find their successor and hit every time, and that's not realistic. I want y'all to think about that. First and second round picks, and don't let these guys turn out to be great. No team can afford to let 4 of their natural draft picks stay on a team and get a big deal after. It's not realistic. You can't keep paying them. It's not realistic to keep all your draft picks and pay them what they worth if they turn out good. It's just not. You cannot use all your draft picks. Unless you just keep on knocking it out the park in the draft, but y'all better buckle up for getting rid of our best players, hoping that our replacement that we drafted is going to be as good. It's not realistic to hit every time like this. It's just not, y'all. At some point, you got to stop drafting so many first-round picks. It's just not realistic. But I'm telling y'all now, if they accept a lot of capital, listen, here's another element y'all got to think about. We don't know what's going to end up being from this investigation with Stephen Ross and all of that crap, because there could be some legal ramifications outside of the NFL that come about. We don't know what that'll end up being, because supposedly there's witnesses and all of that actually heard Ross say it to Flores, and also text messages from Chris Greer that'll verify basically. If the league does come down on us and they don't have Ross sell the team and he keeps the team, we could lose a lot of first round draft capital. They could take 2 years, 3 years worth. I don't know what the going rate of scandals are today, but they could take a lot of your best draft capital. Miami might package all those picks anyway this offseason and not worry about that risk. Y'all, I'm gonna be honest with you. They ain't crazy now. They ain't crazy. They know this window is right now with this defense. And if you don't get it now, then you're hopeful that you can catch back up. If I were them and they knew deep down inside that they did a little bit of the stuff that's being accused, I'm definitely packaging and getting whatever I like. I'm sending some of them off. We need to trade Parker, replace him with like a Kenny Galladay, upgrade our O-line, and just get our offense going, and we will be fine. Y'all always talking about this trade Devontae Parker. The money doesn't even make sense to do that. The money doesn't make sense to do that at all. TD, what did they take away from Washington with Snyder? I don't know. Anybody in the comment section know? Usually some of these football scholars know before I do. I'm going to type it in. I'm going to find it. Let me see if I can find it before somebody put it in the comment section. Oh, we got a donation. No, he said, if Ross sells the team, what happens to the stadium? Well, I don't know. It depends on if it'll be part of the deal of selling the team. Schneider Washington football team. Man, I don't see what they lost. I'm trying to figure that out. And nobody put it in the comment section. I'm just gonna see. Let's see. What year was that, by the way? Um, okay, let's see. They fined the team 10 million. Trying to see. Yeah, McDaniels did sign a 4-year deal. 10 million in fines, no draft picks. So no draft picks for them. No draft picks for them, but we'll see what that means for Miami. Because I know the Patriots lost some picks or something like that. Washington Commanders. I know, right? That's the new name. Y'all hit that like button for me. That means 2 years. Y'all give me a second. I'm trying to bring something else up for y'all. I want to use this time right now to talk to y'all about let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and do it. If y'all with it right now, let me see. Do we? Yeah, we'll have the time. Would y'all like to go ahead and do part 3 right now of the building around Tua Tagovailoa? Let me know in the comment section. Got it. Oh, I'm gonna go over and talk to the homie. Do y'all want to do part 3? Well, I might wait till like 8:30 tonight or something like that to do TD is Deshaun to Miami dead. It's never been dead. They wanted you to believe it was dead. That's why they had all of those attempts saying he was linked to Flores and all that stuff. We'll see this offseason what that turns out to be too, because I think at this point they have to move on from Watson. I think he will definitely be dealt somewhere. At this point, I think he'll definitely be dealt somewhere. Okay. But he has to be, because they don't want to eat that 35 million for him to still sit. So we'll see where he ends up. I don't know what team it'll ultimately be, but who knows? Maybe they'll set Mike McDaniels up for the ultimate success and get him a top quarterback right away. I mean, I don't wish hope and project on the man. So I would hope they would set him up best they can without worrying, one less thing to have to worry about. Because no matter how much he builds around the quarterback, if that guy ain't getting it done, it ain't gonna matter. Look at San Francisco. Somebody said Watson in New Orleans. That ain't even possible. If you understand what's going on with the New Orleans Saints cap, it ain't even possible, man. It ain't even possible. They could shred the roster of all their best players and they wouldn't have the money. They could empty that roster and they still wouldn't have enough money. This guy has success with a completely different team. Main strength, O-line, and run game. Yeah, but what is the definition of success, y'all? I don't know. That's the whole point that I try to understand. What's the definition of success? Watson to the Jets. You know, believe it or not, Sloth, I've said stuff like that is a possibility. But does he want to play in the cold weather? From my understanding, he wanted to play down south. And he don't want to go to Carolina. There ain't many more. You know, a team that could be a sleeper that nobody's really talking about for Deshaun Watson if they can clear up enough space? Do you know one team that nobody's really discussing that is a potential for Watson if it ain't Miami? I want to see if anybody get it. Put it in the comment section. No, Tennessee, nope. There were rumors that Aaron Rodgers may be headed to Tennessee, but they came out and backed Tannehill a few days ago. Said he's our quarterback moving forward. Not Tampa. Tampa ain't got no money. They're going to be in a rebuild. They're in trouble. Y'all got to understand, Brady was only making $25 million, and they spread that out. They're going to be paying Brady for the next 3 years. They got voidable years on the contract. He going to be counting like 20 million for like the next 3 years. That ain't happening. Somebody just got it. The Atlanta Falcons. Nobody's really thinking about them. Now, I don't know his interest, but the Atlanta Falcons, that'll be the type of thing that'll keep Calvin Ridley there. The Atlanta Falcons. I could see that potentially happening. I could really see something like that happening. Watson is from Georgia. I didn't even know that. Interesting. I could see him going to the Atlanta Falcons and Matt Ryan's time being over. I could really see them moving on with the future. No, really wants to play with Tua. Really probably want to play wherever he can get his biggest bag from. So if that's Tua, then that's Tua. But we'll see how that ends up. Cleveland Browns. I don't think so because of the location, but that would be a scary sight. That team has been built for years, but once again, a built team that just ain't got that guy. And they might be losing Jarvis Landry. Atlanta's defense is terrible. Texans is better. Yeah, I get that, but at the same token, well, slow down. Stop that. The Texans defense was horrible. I mean, they played better last year, but when Watson was there, it was much worse. Minnesota, weather. Again, I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see what the weather holds, what he decides he wants to do. But it'll be very interesting when it's all said and done. It definitely will. Anywho, man, but back to Mike McDaniels, man. We got to see these head coaches he brings in. I mean, these assistant coaches. We got to see what all that turns out to be, all right? We need to get Watson, TD. It'll all work itself out. We'll see what they end up doing. We'll see. I have a huge feeling, though, that they're going to make sure that they do certain things to set Mike McDaniels up for success. And the shocking part of it all, that could be with another quarterback. It really could be. There's too many quarterback vacancies this year where it'll be easy to find a home for Tua. But if he goes through another year playing like, underwhelming, next year it'll be much harder to find a home for him. Especially if you have an option that you can bring in that you could trade for, it's a wrap. We'll see how it goes. TD, you run an Eagles channel. I haven't been on there in a long time, but I got like 11 channels. I'm trying to build a sports network. Once I have enough time to actually go hard on all of them to provide news for different fan bases, I'm going to crank it up, and then I'm going to be hiring contributors that can take those channels over eventually and run them for me. But that's the goal. So I'm trying to build a sports network. Trade Tua and Parker for Michael Thomas. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. But anyway, man, I'm gonna go ahead and end this one right here. I'm probably gonna take like a 30-minute break, and then maybe around 8:30, I'll let you know on IG, Twitter, and Facebook, YouTube community tab if that changes. But we'll probably do part 3 of building around Tua Tagovailoa. So get ready for it. I plan to do that hopefully around 8:30. I just got to check with the wife, make sure we all good. Because on Friday, she asked me to promise her, hey, let's just do a weekend of just me and just having fun with me. So it was been me and the wife all weekend, and we've been enjoying our time together. And I put all my phones down, my social media, all that stuff. That's why I haven't been live Friday, Saturday, or today. But this news, I said, let me go handle that real quick. So I'm going to see if I'm going to go live again or if we're going to have movie night. So matter of fact, y'all stay right here right now. I'll let y'all know right now. Give me a second. It just depends on what she's doing. All right, y'all. At 8:30, we're gonna do the part 3 of building around Tua Tagovailoa. We'll be talking about the money we have. We'll be talking about the draft picks. We'll be talking about priority. what will be our strategy building this team now that we know who our head coach is and what type of offense we're likely to run. All right. So 8:30. The wife reading bedtime stories to the kids right now, so I'm gonna hop in on that and play with them for about 15. And we're gonna go ahead and start at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll do our stream building around Tua Tagovailoa. Okay, part 3. So, and the wife got stuff that she want to do later tonight for herself. So, we got all the time we need. So 8:30. I will see you all then, and let's have some fun. Love y'all. Peace. I'm out.